4월 18일 오후 4시 15분이 지나고 있습니다. 오늘은 이렇게 일기예보가 그래서 아침 일찍 저쪽 웅길산 물의정원에 가서 싹 돌고 찍고 자, 이 시간은 좋은 책들 좀 읽겠습니다. "50 Success Classics, Winning Wisdom for Work and Life" from 50 landmark books. The more she read, the more she read, the more she realized that it was a textbook for prosperity. High interest, low readability, non-fiction. Each readability for challenged readers. They had been hurt by sharp metal and glass. Success for Dummies. Adopt success as a way of life forever. Although I've been speaking in generalities, about men's and women's tendencies, I want to emphasize that a successful marriage is a joint venture. Remember that marriage is a joint venture. The raging 2020s, companies, countries, people, and the fight for our future. The entire social contract is predicated on economic growth, and it seems unlikely that the Chinese government will be able to drive high growth numbers forever, given that there is no precedent in history for an economy to never falter. Harold. A crow could not be made blacker than a thicker waters. Each man seized what camp property he could carry, and they made off in different directions. Supine, lying on one's back. Supine. The evolution of desire, strategies of human mating. It signals a willingness to engage in a cooperative alliance, an essential ingredient for success in long-term mating. power question, build relationship, win new business, and influence others. Go deeper and create a sublime moment by asking this question. When to use the question? At any stage of someone's career. The type A woman, how to overcome the stress of being everything to everybody. But the roots of type A behavior extend beyond conditioning to an even more basic or primitive form of learning, the emulation of role models. The formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerating teamwork. Activities she once believed could only be done by her, she now realized could easily be handed off to a fool. You're old, I'm old, get used to it. 20 reasons why growing old is great. And a lot of fun can be had looking back on the silly ways we behaved when we are younger. Anxieties about being grandparents, not to mention a myriad ailments then you might not especially want to discuss with a fellow. Strategies of the Serengeti. However, some of the wisest words on the subject come from one of the most successful business people ever. Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking that they can't lose. Increase your score in 30 minutes a day. ACT essay. 12 annotated essays to show you how to succeed. Science. The remaining 1% include argon, carbon dioxide, water vapor, and minute traces of other gases such as helium and ozone. Seeing around the corners, how to spot the inflection points in business before they happen. The challenge for an innovation champion. In a level 1 organization, is getting people to acknowledge that there may be real value and importance in becoming more proficient. You incorporated the art of selling yourself. An athlete learns that you need to burn to grow. Make yourself uncomfortable. People, power, and profits. Progressive capitalism for an age of discontent. Thus, in our criminal justice system, with this presumption of innocence, until proven guilty, the unanimous decision of 12 jurors of guilt is not a guarantee of the right. It's not a guarantee of the right decision, even if the trial process was conducted in a fair way. But it makes it likely that that is so, or at least so we thought, until still further research discovered the implicit biases that is involving deep discrimination was so prevalent. The art of asking, ask better questions, get better answers. It can look like a decision tree map to make it simple. Creating things that matters. The art and the science of innovation that last. You might picture the GCM as a giant funnel of ideas. Millions of ideas enter at the top. How could you do even more for the people you serve? Meaningful work is driven by deep internal motivation. Stumbling on happiness. For millions of years, human beings have conquered their ignorance by dividing the labor of discovery and then communicating their discoveries to one another, which is why the average newspaper boy in Pittsburgh knows more about the universe than did Galileo, Aristotle, Leonardo, or any of those other guys who were so smart they only needed one name. Tiny habits. Finding the right sequence and the fit for your new habits takes a little tinkering, but it's ultimately pretty straightforward. Leadership. The solution. Find a partner whose vision, strategy, and most importantly, management style mesh with your own. Upstream, the quest to solve problems before they happen. But now a much more difficult question: what if, for certain kinds of problems, being prepared isn't good enough? What if avoiding a problem requires perfection? The achievement habit. Stop wishing, start doing, and take command of your life. The organizers of the conference mailed an invitation to Professor Arnold at Stanford University. Shut down. How COVID shook the world's economy. That gave Pfizer, which had invested hundreds of millions of dollars in its trials, the edge in the race to the finish line. Know-how. Brilliant, immensely practical, and comprehensive. It's Monday morning. Now what? Setting laser sharp, dominant priorities. The 12th insight, the hour of decision. I was feeling it in the exact same way. I could feel my hand behind my back, only with greater intensity. The word is solution. If for any reason you feel like stopping this process of relaxation, simply open your eyes, look around, and return your full attention to the outside world. springboard, launching your personal search for success. I am always amazed at the variety of strategies they report, from things as simple as taking hot showers or long walks to elaborate recordings of their own voices to use as alarm clocks and the multi-step rituals that help them get motivated to take high-stakes exam. The power of affirmation and the secret to their success. My heart is always open and I radiate love. Official guide to the Smithsonian. The brain case of a 1.8 billion year old youth found in Swaziland, South Africa, for example, still shows leopard's fatal puncture marks. Organize your job search. While the conversation will undoubtedly be less formal than in an office setting, don't relax too much. Different, escaping the competitive herd. Hostile brand tell us exactly what we are in for, and if we don't like it, they are the first to show us the door. Mine, how the hidden rules of ownership control our lives. Well-off people get not only the caterer and wedding band they prepare using prenuptial agreement and trust. They can also get most of the marital ownership rules they want. Bold. A guide to exponential digit chupa from a master of the art of going big. (2020) The form belongs to society. The form belongs to society. This is a variation on the previous error, but it has the virtue of throwing light on two more evils. Life matters, creating a dynamic balance of work, family, time, and money. Just suppose you could have the villa, the clothing, the new home, and so on at the price of no time with your family. Huge interest payments, the stress of barely meeting your financial obligation, tension in your marriage, and no security if you were to lose your job, tension. Retirement's the prescription. What a chance we have to live. What a chance we have to live optimally, enthusiastically, and with the wonder and curiosity of a child, but with the advantage of wisdom. Enjoy. The happiness advantage, the 7 principles that fuel success and performance at work. According to the Roman poet Ovid, the sculptor Pygmalion could look at a piece of marble and see the sculpture trapped inside of it. Good business. Each approach had its valued place in the scheme of things. The obesity code, unlocking the secret of weight loss. The importance of reducing intake of sugar-sweetened beverages can get lost in the cacophony. juxtapose two plays close together or side by side. In the exhibit, his father's paintings are juxtaposed with those of other famous painters set side by side. Small business marketing not only will a consistent ad design gain you marketplace awareness and the impact. It also will save time and money by eliminating the need to redesign every new ad. The 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace. The bottom line, your love languages and languages appreciation won't always be one and the same, but most of us will have some commonalities between the two. Start with why. When why goes to the fuzzy. A lot of what goes on these days with the high-flying companies and those are the overpaid CEOs who's really just looting from the top and aren't watching out for anybody but themselves. Really upset me. It's one of the main things wrong with the American business today. This is the sentiment passed down from the founder of one of the most vilified companies in recent history. Raised on a farm in America's heartland, he came of age during the Great Depression. This probably explained his predisposition for frugality. teaching by principals, an interactive approach to language pedagogy. The woman is very lonely because her children never visiting. What about you? What do you usually do every day? What are you doing right now? Recycling. The people of one village in the east of England collected enough rings pulled to pay for a special bus for sick children. Something for nothing. The criminal replied rudely, "His money was the hardest money I ever got. A race like no other. 26.2 miles through the streets of New York. They wanted to provide New Yorkers with a wide open green space that would enable them to enjoy the aesthetics of landscape art, watch the world go by, and engage in exercise. Lifespan. Have we done so sustainably? Amazing things will happen. Whenever you have to say this, try to have someone you can recommend who might be able to help the person. The success of the principle. Build your success team. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. black box are sinking. Yeah, the crew are beginning to panic. Perception is narrowing. What on earth do these jets want? Now, there's a writer who could really hear and feel the sound of English words. The Book of Why. Unable to solve it in general, they resorted to a linear approximation, and even in the linear case, they found it difficult to handle because it is not solvable by standard regression method. The business of design. The employee's billing rate. Plutocrats. When the Soviet Union collapsed, he was perfectly poised in a position between insider and outsider. Meditation. Allow yourself to cry really deeply, cringing and unburdening the heart. Weather for dummies. As minutes are added to advance warnings, now it may be possible for people in harm's way to rush to a shelter before a tornado hits. We reluctantly gave into our exhaustion and headed back to Suwon Station. Letters to a young athlete, but just that some players are better than others at pushing through pain. Some players are better than others at pushing through criticism, keeping the critics that matter so they can keep improving their game and tuning out the rest. Identity, your passport to success. Are they honorable? Even in the face of criticism, temptation, or challenges? Great application for bidding schools. Find out what admissions officers at top schools look for. applicants from well-represented countries or those who have modest cross-cultural profiles can offset this with vivid, detailed, compelling description of their international stories, and through the depths of insight and reflection they bring to their analysis of them. The $1 million reason to change your mind. Make failure your teacher. Where your focus is today, your future is tomorrow. Don't emphasize your past failures and regrets unless you intend to live there. Your mistakes are an event. They are not a permanent condition. Everything you need for your future is in embryonic form in your hand today. What do you have in your hand right now? Right now. It is a tragedy. It is a tragedy when people it is a tragedy when people whinge about what they don't have or what has been taken from them. When people lament their loss rather than celebrate what they have. people mourn the loss of innocence at a young age, or lost relationship, lost the money, lost houses, or lost businesses. You can't do a thing about what has been taken from you, but you can do something about whatever it is that you have in your hand right now. Eventually, however, the marriage between Southern White and the rest of the Democratic Party broke down over irreconcilable differences. Going solo, the extraordinary rise and the surprising appeal of living alone. Stories like the Pauls and the guys make it clear that being male is not the only risk factor for social isolation. Limitless mind, learn, lead, and live without the barriers. The thing that people who overcome hardship and do not become defeated by it have in common is that in times of need, they all reached out to someone, a friend, a family member, or a colleague, and those are the connections helped them survive and develop strengths. Indivisible. These immigrants often abandoned everything in hope of a better life for their children. the psychology book. Big ideas simply explained. But there is hope. But there is hope. Apple insists because man can overcome his sense of isolation and alienation through finding his purpose. Woman's body, speaking or shouting puts more of a strain on the larynx than does the singing. Korea, the impossible country. South Korea's amazing rise from the ashes. The inside story of an economic, political, and cultural phenomenon. Against this pro-U.S. Japan-friendly backdrop, South Korean left wings developed politics based on Korean ethnic nationalism. Kick-ass creativity, an energy makeover for artists and creative professionals. Allow yourself to choose individuals with whom you can create new template of yourself. You'll want to choose people from whom you like and trust, of course, but they needn't be your best friend. the power of affirmation. Most often this is a temporary measure because after saying the softer version for a few days to a few weeks, you'll be able to step up to the stronger version. Omnivore's dilemma. Hell, we invented the damned thing for us. So what's wrong with reserving moral consideration for those able to understand it? Avoid retirement and stay alive. The survey seems to concur that older workers are better communicators, and the over 50s are taking to the internet quicker than any other age group. How to be your own best friend. This is really the beginning of self-hatred. They probably started doing that very early. I'm a strange loop. Thus the question is, can I now experience that joy for old Carol? Can I now look at Monica for old Carol? How to get control of your time and your life. How to waste time for pleasure and the profit. The other fellow will be the one to do them. That is what he's there for. While America aged. This time, Rocky lobbied the legislature to say no. A concise guide to the United Nations. Members of the United Nations, date of membership, area, and the population. Ask, and it is given. The 3 steps to whatever you want to be, do, or have. The creative process is conceptually a simple one. It consists of just 3 steps. Step 1, your work, you ask. When you are alone, you are with another person. No. The crazy artist, life was good. I think she looks so strong and independent. No rules are the rules. Several years ago, we had a messy example when we let go of one of our executives for lacking transparency in his own communication. Marketing, technology for humanity. As the ad messages are aligned with their current areas of interest, the ads typically have a better response rate. Chapter 10. Maybe at novice levels, they offer the free taste of a premium wine with the next tasting flight. Barking up the wrong tree. It's actually lack of self-compassion that make you passive. But if that time is spent screaming at each other, that's not good either. Legacy, establishing your values or accomplishment in ways that help others find future success. Make difficult people disappear. Others told stories about their commute to the home. Blind spot. Advertising and promotion will be truthful, not exaggerated or misleading. Essential words for the GRE. Soporific, soporific. Make time for the work that matters. With programs tailored to your culture, your strategy, your objective. Becoming a teacher. School choice and voucher programs are two controversial approaches to providing parents the freedom to select the schools their children attend. How Koreans talk. The nickname reflected the parents' hope that they would produce no more daughters. They wanted a boy. Writing power. One day he actually yelled at me in front of the class. Border. Be connected to. The two countries border one another. The two countries are connected to one another. Speeches that changed the world. I will not take less. Reading, developing reading skills. Under the thalamus lies the hypothalamus. A particularly important part of the old brain because it rouses the body and prepares it for action appropriate to an emotional state. Years may wrinkle the skin, but to give up enthusiasm wrinkle the soul. survival kit for overseas living for Americans planning to live and work abroad. Nor do they appreciate the putting up with red tape, bureaucratic delays, and missed appointments. Nor do they appreciate the putting up with red tape.